I know.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see you all here today. I haven't got to see a lot of people lately. I've been so busy with my son and being the perfect wife and everything, and it's just so. I'm so glad to see people, and for once I have a little bit of time because my husband Abraham and my son Isaac are off in the woods. They said they needed to have a little manly adventure, and the one thing I asked of them to come back, intact, to not have any body parts missing or blood all over them, just to come back home safely and clean. So we'll see if that happens. As my son has grown up, I've had a lot more time to think and reflect on my life so far, and I remember, I like to think about my dreams and the dreams that I had. And I remember growing up, I had two dreams. And they're pretty much the same that every little girl has when she grows up. And one of them was to get married. I was so excited to get married. I had been taught by my mom that, you grow up and you be the good wife, you take care of your husband, you listen to your husband, and you do everything that he asks of you, and you just follow your husband. And so my mom had taught me that, and I was the good daughter, and I learned how to cook and do all those things I was supposed to do. And then one day my dad came home, and he was like, "Honey, I have good news for you." And I was like, What? And he's like, "Well, I found a man that will marry you." And I got so excited. I was like, yes, my first dream is coming true. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have a husband, and it's going to be great. And then I'll get to fulfill my second dream. And that's to have kids. And I was so excited to have kids because I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be like my mom. I wanted to raise kids and be the good and faithful wife, and I wanted to do all those things. And I considered my life incomplete without fulfilling those. And so, kind of excited about getting married. Like, it was fun. And so we got married. It wasn't that long, and then we started to try to have kids, and nothing happened. We tried everything. We tried so many things, and I had no kids, and I felt like a complete failure. I couldn't provide for my husband, but it was okay because I still had my purpose as a wife. I could still take care of my husband and take care of the home and do those things. Well, one day my husband comes running in, and he's like, "Hey, guess what? The Lord spoke to me today." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what did he say to you?" He told us we're gonna move. Seriously? Move? Is he trying to cover me up? Is he trying to move me and get rid of me because I'm like a failure and I can't do what I'm supposed to do? I can't give him kids, so we're gonna move? And so I asked him, "Where are we going?" "I don't know, we're just gonna go, and the Lord will tell us where we're gonna go." Now, I know I'm supposed to be the good wife and do what my husband says, but seriously, he's just asking me to pack up everything to move away from my friends and people that I know and have got comfortable with. We're gonna move. He doesn't know where. I'd like to have a little bit more direction in my life. But I did what I was taught. I was a faithful wife. I did what I was brought up to do, is to follow my husband and to obey him. So I packed up our bags, we got all our stuff together, and me and Abram and then Lot, we got up and we moved, and we just took off. And it was hard. It was really hard because I wanted something that I couldn't have. I wanted to have kids. I feel like if I had kids, that might have been me more willing to go because I was like, all right, we'll go fulfill this together. And so we're off and we're wandering, and one day he stops us and he goes, "Hey, we're going to go into Egypt now." And I was like, okay, so why are we stopped? Let's just keep going like we've been doing for, the last couple of weeks. And he goes, "Well, you're kind of pretty. And I kind of think you're attractive, and you're my wife, and I love you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I like that." And so he goes, "But these Egyptian people, they're probably going to think you're pretty too. And if we're married, then they're not going to really treat me nicely. They might kill me so they can have you." And so I was like, okay, where is he going with this? Why can't we just be us? And he goes, "So I have an idea. You're going to be my sister." What? "Yeah, we're going to pretend we're brother and sister. That way when we go, they're going to treat us really nicely, and they're going to give us pretty things, and we'll both still be alive, and when we're ready to move on, we'll just go, and we can go together." All right. First we move, now we get to be brother and sister. This really must be because I can't have kids, so now all he thinks of me is his sister, this person that follows him around and does things for him. So I sucked it up. All right, Lord, let's get this over with. And so we go in, and it was actually kind of nice. All the guys were really nice to me. They'd give me pretty clothes and pretty things, and we got lots of livestock, and it all went really well. Till one day, Pharaoh came up, and he was like, "What is going on? All my people are sick. Everyone is unhappy, and you guys are just fine." And so Abram was like, "Oh shoot, we've been found out." So he looks at him and goes, "Well, we're really married, and this is my wife, and I'm her husband, and you guys have all been like trying to bribe me for her, and so I think the Lord might be a little angry." And the Pharaoh's like, "Are you kidding me? Of course he's angry." So pretty much told us to get out of town, to pack up our bags and go, but he said, "Please take everything with you." And so we actually became quite wealthy during that time. We had lots of animals, lots of nice things, and it was a big group of us moving around, and it just became too much, and like people were fighting among us and Lot, and so pretty much we just decided to split ways, and Lot went off that way, and I didn't really care because it's kind of annoying to me. And then we went off this other way, and we walked for a little bit longer, and he stopped. Abram stops us, and he goes, "This is it." Where are we? We're in the land of Canaan, and this is what the Lord has told me. He goes, "This will be where we stop, and this will be where we prosper." And I'm like, "Really? There's not much here." And he's like, don't worry, it'll be good. "This is what the Lord said to me. He says, I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great. You will be a blessing, and I will bless those who bless you. Whoever curses you, I will curse. You and all your people will be a blessing to you." I was like, okay. He was really excited. His eyes were wide. He was kind of like jumping as he told me this, and I couldn't help but think of the first part. You will be a great nation. We're just two people. And one of us, I can't have kids. I can't fulfill my purpose. And so I struggled with, how are we going to become a great nation when I can't do anything about it? I couldn't do what I had been born to do, what I had been raised to do. And so being a faithful wife, I just smiled and nodded and pretended everything was okay. All right, we'll be a great nation somehow. So the days went on, and I just kept thinking about that. You will be a great nation. And I kept thinking about my failure. I couldn't have kids. It just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. And so I had an idea. I didn't want to do it, but I thought it was a good idea. So I went over to my servant, and we had talked a little bit, and she kind of knew what was going on, and I asked her, I was like, "Hey, can you go sleep with my husband? Can you do what I can't do? Can you give him a child so he can be happy and he can build his great nation?" And she looked at me like I was crazy, and she asked me, "Are you really certain you want me to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, if it will make him happy, go sleep with him." So she did. She slept with him. And can you believe it? After the first time she gets knocked up. Seriously. How many years had I been trying? And here she is. And I got so angry. I was like, really? We had been trying all this time. I am the wife. I'm supposed to be the one that gives him a child. And here she doesn't get knocked up. And so I tried to be nice to her. Really, I did. But I think my anger kind of came out more than what I was planning it to, and she got a little hurt, and she got angry back at me, and she's like, "Look, you asked me to do this. You asked me to sleep with him." And I go, "Yeah, well." So she left. She went off into the forest, and God met her there, and he spoke to her, and he encouraged her, and he told her to come back, and he said, "You will have a son, and you will name him Ishmael, because the Lord has seen your misery." She came back, and we made up, and she told me this. I was like, seriously? Your misery? What about me? I have been with my husband for like 80 plus years. We have no kid, and he sees your misery over mine. Can't he tell that I am broken? That I feel like I have no purpose in life? That I feel like I'm just wandering and following my husband, playing the part of a faithful wife?